and thanks for joining us for this episode of What's New Magnet Schools, where we take an inside look at the goings-on with our new magnet programs. I'm Delsa Chapman, Director of Magnet Programs. Everett New Tech High students learn about climate change and visit Cavanaugh Elementary STEAM to teach younger students about the science of weather with their own unique approaches. Michigan State University professor Dr. Kazuya Fujita visits Everett New Tech to talk about the science and research behind earthquakes. At Sheridan Road STEM, students host a museum night sharing their knowledge about Native American history. Also, learning business skills, hosting a mini mall where students learned about the nitty-gritty details of running a business, from business plan to the final sales of the products they made. Later, theme night at Mount Hope STEAM. Mount Hope STEAM recently hosted a theme night giving parents a look at the robotics and other educational opportunities offered there. Fairview STEM opens their doors to the many community partners that graciously give their generous support as they help educate students and families about health, safety, and life skills. One of the focus points of our magnet schools is exploring ways to educate children that engage them, and project-based learning is one key approach. At Everett New Tech recently, it was as much about learning as it was about teaching when 8th grade students visited Cavanaugh STEAM, a K-3 magnet, and presented lessons about climate change. 8th graders designed educational activities for the younger students.
Today we've got the 8th grade students coming in from Everett. We're teaming up with them. They have a weather presentation that they're going to be presenting and doing with the kids. And they're kind of teaching but yet doing some fun activities and games together. In groups. We've got them in 8 groups set up in different stations, and they're doing pretty good so far. They were pretty geeked up and excited, as was the 8th graders last week when we met. But they're winding down and they're getting it together, and they seem to be flowing pretty good.
So both magnet programs do have a focus on STEM and project-based learning. And so as our 8th graders were learning about climate change and doing their project for learning about climate change and also linear equations, we contacted the Cavanaugh Magnet Program to set up a partnership so we could come over and teach the 3rd graders a little bit about climate change and also a little bit about project-based learning and how that works. Because we've done, at the 8th grade, we do it all at project-based learning, and at the 3rd grade, they don't do all, like they're not full project-based all day. So it gave them a chance to kind of see what it looks like to have a final product with an authentic audience.
We made these booklets. Okay, we taught the 3rd graders about deforestation, rising sea levels, global warming, and the greenhouse effect. The purpose of these booklets were to make sure that the 3rd graders understood what we were teaching them.
Well, it was fun to teach the kids about it and like to see their sketches of what they thought the climate change was, and to hear like how smart they were and what they knew about climate change already.
I like it a lot, and I was really surprised that they were really smart and had a lot of ideas when I was asking them about, oh, so what do you think this means now after what we told you? And they had a lot of ideas that I wasn't even going to ask them about. Oh, we need it for paper, we need to cut down trees for pencils, and they kept naming everything. Oh, and this chair, and so that was really cool.
Weather is just one part of earth sciences. Recently, Everett's New Tech High had the pleasure of being visited by MSU seismologist Dr. Fujita. As part of a unit on learning about building structures, the students got a lesson about plate tectonics and other forms of earth movement, including looking at first-hand images of what shifts in the Earth's crust look like, and experienced how sensitive a seismograph could be. They applied these complex lessons to the design of buildings to make them more earthquake resistant.
Today, the 8th grade class has invited Dr. Fujita from Michigan State University to help in their project. Their ultimate project, that the unit they're doing right now, is they're going to have to build earthquake-resistant structures. So they're learning about earthquakes, they're learning about some plate tectonics, all the issues of earthquakes. So Mr. Goodman and Mrs. Orr brought in Dr. Fujita, kind of a renowned scientist at MSU, to give them some basics on it and some little experiments. So it kind of feeds into their project. So lots of real life issues, because obviously earthquakes in Michigan aren't very prevalent, but kids have heard of them, kids have seen them, kids see some of the issues around it. He even mentioned how some of these kids are going to go off and be, they're not all going to stay in Lansing. They'll be in areas of the country where earthquakes are much more relevant. So here today in this classroom, they're hearing about that from a MSU expert. So it totally relates to what's going on right now in the news in this country and the science of it. It's a great blending, I think, of real life stuff and what they're doing in the classroom.
Well, I hope to get them interested in science, and of course earthquakes do have a societal connection, maybe not so much here in Michigan, but certainly elsewhere in the United States, so that they see it as not only an abstract something, but something that has practical societal applications. Earth science projects are very good for students because they can make a direct connection to it. It's something that affects all of us, and both from resources and hazards and everything else, it's easy to make a connection to.
I think it's really cool. I think it's pretty cool to learn about how earthquakes actually are formed and how they actually affect, or what actual damage they can do to towns and stuff. I think it's actually project-based learning is actually better because you get to go like hands-on, and you don't have to it's not just like reading out of a book or like looking at pages and reading off of pages. It's more hands-on. You get to work the way that you like to work.
Students at Sheridan Road STEM held a Night at the Museum theme event recently. Recreations of Native American historical and cultural items made by students were on display throughout the school, highlighting project-based learning approaches. Parents and younger students came to view the displays, while several students were on hand to explain their projects.
We did research, and then we got some ideas about how we were going to make them. We had to sketch them out so we knew what we wanted to do and how we wanted the designs to look. This is one of the masks that they would wear to celebrations. It is a Thunderbird mask they would wear for parties and celebrations they had.
Tonight we had our night at the museum where our fifth grade families came to see their children's projects, which they've been working on for about a month. They have been working on Native Americans all across the different regions of the United States, and they had to do all of the research, create their own exhibits. They even went to a museum here in Michigan to get ideas on what a creative exhibit would look like and all of the components that are needed.
Yes, I didn't realize that she, knew so much about this. I only know what I know from what she has told us so far, and I think she did a great job. I love it. I think it's wonderful. It's beautiful. I like Sheridan. I like Sheridan very much. I feel very homey when I'm here. Yeah.
I think it's very hands-on, which obviously helps with the learning for people that are more visual learners. And this is an example of that. I think it's definitely helping Brianna catch up on her history.
The kids are very excited about it. They presented to fourth graders today, and were able to talk at length about their different exhibits. And then tonight, the families got to come in and see what's going on, which is really great. It's a part of our magnet with our project-based learning, really a hands-on way to learn about Native Americans here in the United States, as opposed to just reading about it in a textbook. So I think it'll be a very memorable experience for our families and also for our students.
In a modern business world, every student should have a chance to understand the complex processes that go into running a business. At the Sheridan Road Mini Mall event, students got hands-on experience as well as guidance from community leaders and volunteers in making business plans. From top to bottom, what materials cost, how to promote them, and what unique angle to market their products from. Sheridan Road students earned valuable experience.
The Sheridan Road Mini Mall is the very first PBL that we've had, which is project-based learning, and the students decided that they wanted to improve our playground equipment, and so they decided to come up with some products that they could sell. So tonight you're here to see all the products that they have. The curriculum of economics, that's basically we've integrated writing, math, they're keeping inventory sheets, and coming up with how much they're selling, profit and loss. So we've integrated all of the Michigan State standards right in with this really interactive project-based learning.
It's a catapult. It's $1 and you can buy it. And you get a target with it. You can get an extra target for 25 cents. We didn't try to make sure it was sold out, but I was just making it interesting by doing it like a game show. That sometimes you can go out of business really fast.
Our product is foam fingers, and we made it by carving it out of foam cubes, and then we traced them, and then we drew them. With this project, I learned about that you have to work together to accomplish things.
We used dye, and we got towels off the inside.
We got white towels, and then we took rubber bands and soaked them in water, and then put the dye on it.
I think the real life skills are the key part of it. The kids are actually creating the project, figuring out how much it costs them to create the project, and then trying to figure out how much it's going to cost in the real world if people are really going to buy it. That's something that they've really learned. I think at the end of the day, they're coming away with the real life skills that they need in the community to figure out the needs and the wants and scarcity of things. And so I think it's a real life lesson for them.
At Mount Hope STEAM, robots are a favorite. Students learn about programming robots for competitions and apply project-based learning to all sorts of projects, from concept to completion. Students eventually compete with their robots in competitions and exhibitions, and hands-on project-based learning appears in all the categories of STEAM: science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics.
Tonight is the evening where we showcase student work. This is our winter theme night, and the theme for this evening is science, technology, engineering. Kids were really proud of what they've accomplished, so they showed some of the robotics work that they've done. They showed some of the work that they did also with the Legos and programming the different structures to move using the computer. So it's been an awesome evening with kids really taking great pride in their work.
It's a whole lot of robotics, and we go to class, all different classes, and they got different things things going on in the class. Like in Mrs. Wheeler's, they had the iPads, and we got to play on Kahoots, and we did a quiz, and we did a lot of fun things. It's very fun. You get to do a lot of engineering. You get to build stuff. You get to make stuff out of things that you never imagined that you can make things out of. And you get to they give you the opportunity to do things with your friends and partner up and get in groups, and you can do anything.
A new computer is a good upgrade. All the new projects that we can do, those are also really fun. Well, now we have we focus on a lot more things, science, technology, all that stuff. It's a good upgrade, I guess.
This community is heavily invested in this school, so they've donated books in the past, and this time we might move more towards the digital resources that are available. But it's been a hugely successful night, and I couldn't be more proud of the children, the staff, and everyone who came out and made this such a success for our children, because that's worth every ounce of energy that we poured into this event.
Lansing School District staff surely do a great deal to educate in our magnet schools, but it's just as important to recognize the many partners that our school district has. Physicians Health Plan, Rite Aid, Michigan State University, and the Board of Water and Light are just a few that came to give demonstrations around safety, health, and health-based careers. Almost every room had something to attract attendees.
Tonight at Fairview STEM we have our health fair, which features a lot of community resources that we have going on, from Rite Aid to Park and Rec to the MSU Police have brought their canine unit to talk about safety with the children. The Board of Water and Light have brought a demonstration to really talk about energy and the safety around that. They are one of our great partners with the community and are really trying to tie with our STEM program that we're doing here this year.
The partnerships are a great opportunity for our students to see that there's something beyond the school, and it helps the partnerships build the relationships with the students to help encourage them to go into those fields and see that there's something beyond elementary, middle school, high school, and even college. And if they have a passion in that area, then they can influence the students, say, hey, you know, if you really like this field, this is what you need to do. And that's what we're trying to build here at Fairview.
I have 2 students enrolled here at Fairview. I have a kindergartner and a first grader, and we really enrolled them in the STEM program here at Fairview because they really are interested in science and technology, and they are very tactile learners. They want to experience learning, and this is an environment where that is completely fostered, and the teachers here engage every day in a new adventure. I really am a proponent of project-based learning, and so this fit really well within our repertoire.
One of the things that we're trying to do at Fairview is create a pathway into career-motivated students. So we have a lot of students going to college experiences, actually getting into the classrooms, meeting professors and students, and just getting a hands-on experience of what college life is all about.
Thanks for joining us today on What's New Magnet Schools. I'm Delsa Chapman, Project Director for Magnet Programs. We'll see you next time.